Jeremy Siegel, Professor, it's always good to have you, especially when we see a market doing what it is on these headlines. Your reaction is what?
Well, I think, tariffs are the only negative of Trump's economic agenda, most of which is very good. I also, by the way, wouldn't completely give up hope on a settlement. I know a number of people, including myself, that have been in a jury room, selected for a jury, and we're ready to go. Lawyer comes in the last minute and said, hey, we have a settlement, and we all leave. I can't guarantee that, but, the art of the deal for Trump, let's push him to the edge and see what happens. But clearly, if it is 25-25 and then 10 on China, that is a negative impact on the economy and, I think, on stock prices.
But then why do you have people like Jamie Dimon, who I think it was in Davos, said get over it, essentially as it relates to tariffs? Lutnick, as I said, the proposed Commerce Secretary, saying the notion that these are just across the board inflationary is nonsense.
Well, it's not nonsense. There is some positive effect. Is it a disastrous effect on prices? Probably not. I mean, I've seen some research that suggests if all those tariffs come in, and don't forget, trade is only 10% of GDP, and if all those tariffs come in, it might raise the price level by 0.5 or 0.75%, and that's a one-time increase. So, I wouldn't call that disastrous, but that certainly reorganizes supply chains, all sorts of sourcing situations, and it really depends on how long it lasts. I mean, if he puts it on Saturday, I think a lot of people are going to defer for a few days, and then he could reverse it on Monday or Tuesday if another concession is wrangled from Mexico and these other countries. So it's a bargaining tool. Are you going to get enough in exchange for the negative effect of the tariff in and of itself? And I don't think this play is over yet.
Been a wild week, to say the least, given the DeepSeek story, the headlines, the sell-off in tech, what happened earlier in this week and where we are now. So how does that color your opinion of the stock market here?
Well, I think that, cheaper is better for the economy. Cheaper is better for any AI user. What cheaper isn't better for are perhaps the high-end chip producers. Of course, we all think of NVIDIA as that. And, I'm not an expert in tech. I've been hearing all sorts of stories. Can advanced AI be done on DeepSeek's program? Does it mean advanced AI can be done without the Blackwell chips? I mean, all these questions need to be answered. Autonomous driving, robots, all that. Can that be done with DeepSeek type of transformation? So I think there's still a lot of questions out there. The basic thing is certainly anything cheaper AI-wise is good for the U.S. economy and good overall for the U.S. market.
Yeah, you may not be an expert, as you say, in AI and tech, although you sound well-versed. I will just give you that. And you are an expert, Professor Siegel, on stock market valuations, to which the Fed chair himself this week, when asked directly about economic conditions, financial conditions, called valuations stretched by almost any measure. Now, he was zeroing in, of course, on tech and on AI and those stocks that have done quite well. But what was your view on that comment?
Well, so, we talk about 22 as a forward-looking PE on S&P. I mean, Mag 7, which is the, 493 other stocks, it's around 19, which I don't think is an unreasonable PE given the entire economy. So the question is, can the Mag 7, which has done unbelievably brilliantly over the last 2, 3, 5, 10 years, maintain its prominence? And, of course, what happened Monday says, well, maybe margins can't stay as high for some of them. But then again, some of these others are going to be users of it and actually have gone up after the DeepSeek. So not all Mag 7 is going to be negatively affected. So, yes, Mag 7 is a singular event. We've never had it in the 200-year history of the U.S. stock market. X the Mag 7, I do not think the stock market is overvalued.
But does this threaten that trade, which many people have obviously gone heavily into over the last 18 to 24 months?
Yeah. Well, you know, the trend and the AI narrative is extremely strong. My research shows that it's very hard to topple a trend. It usually takes more than one blow. You know, it's like a prize fighter up there, takes a blow with the head and all right, and it continues on. It would take something else, and then it's like a tipping point. I'm not saying that tipping point is going to happen, but if all of a sudden people say, hey, I can reproduce the Blackwell performance with cheaper chips, whoa, then you're on the next side of that story. And if margins go down on some of these other Mag 7 stocks, that becomes the other side. So this is, usually need 2 or 3 blows to break a trend that is as strong as the AI narrative is. And you could say Monday is blow number 1. Doesn't mean that 2 or 3 are coming soon, but it means you've got to be on alert.